Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. I first want to just point out that I have new equipment, and this is thanks to your many generous donations. So may God bless you for supporting this ministry. I really appreciate it. And again, as always, I want to encourage my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, especially those who are under trial right now, who are suffering. And what I want to talk about today is when your loved ones, your friends, other believers end up hurting you while you're under trial. I mean, it's already hard as it is, right? You feel like you're on the ground getting kicked and you don't need any more kicks, especially from those who should be supporting you at this time. And so I just want to talk about how to process that, my advice for that, because I struggled with that myself in both of my really difficult trials. And I just want to give you a hand of encouragement during these times, because when I felt like my friends and family were actually harming me, I felt more lonely than ever. Just being alone felt so terribly burdensome. And so I just want to encourage those who may be experiencing such things. And so first, I just want to talk about a little bit of where they're coming from, because majority of the people, even in the church, I believe, don't understand or can't really understand the level of mental pain that a person could go through unless they've been through it themselves. When I try to explain my mental agony to my family and friends, I don't think anyone understood. They couldn't understand how you could have that much pain. They're like, it sounds more painful than what you go through physically. And I said, yes, I think that's true. I think a lot of you guys would say it's true. The mental pain is sometimes far worse than the physical. And so the mental pain, what you may be experiencing, will not be obvious to most people as a physical pain is. Let's say you get into a car accident, which I hope you never do. But the mental pain, we have to be understanding towards them that they can't really empathize with you because they're not able to understand what you're exactly going through. And also, when people like your loved ones, when you explain everything to them, you give them all the details of why you're fearing, why you're feeling this way, and they might hear it and kind of understand, but they might say, that's it? How could that bother you this much? How could that cause you to be in that much agony? And to them, it's it doesn't sound that bad to me. What's wrong with you? Is there something wrong with your mind? Why are you thinking this way, taking it that way? And I believe that has a lot to do with our strength and weaknesses and how the devil exploits us and attacks us where we are weak. And so, for example, one of us may have a fear of heights, while another person may not have any fear of heights. And so the person that doesn't have fear of heights, when he sees someone being really scared of being in an airplane, they can't understand them. And at that time, the devil will attack that person who has a fear of heights and make it even bigger, magnify that fear. And so, no, you're not going crazy. You're not crazy. It's a part of spiritual warfare where the devil attacks you where you're weak. And so when other people see that, let's say you have a fear of health issues or maybe being sick or dying, another person doesn't have that kind of fear or very little of it, the devil can magnify that and cause you excessive fear. And when another person sees that who doesn't have the same kind of weakness, will think you're crazy. And I'm telling you, you're not crazy. This is part of how spiritual warfare works. Our enemy, our adversary, the devil, is not stupid. He's clever and strong, and he will attack us at our weak points. That's why when you see people go through trials, they have different things that cause them the agony, the fear, the hardships. So I want you to understand that, mainly to let you know that your mind is not broken. God can repair everything in us from spirit, soul, and body. And so I want to just give you an encouragement to give you some guidance what to do when your family hurts you real bad. There will be times maybe where your own family hurts you and it's time for you to go to bed and you feel so alone. You're like, I don't even have my family or friends to support me right now. And so at those times, I want you to first forgive them, even though you don't feel like it. Get that out of the way. Don't hold any grudges or anger towards them. Don't think evil things for them, but forgive them in obedience to the Lord. And at the same time, that loneliness feeling, that hurt, might still be there, even though you forgive them. And I want you to use that to push you into Jesus' arm alone. Think rationally. Even if the whole world, including your family and loved ones, turn their backs on you, Jesus won't. I want you to go to Jesus alone during those times and say, God, I have nobody but you. I commit my soul, my emotions, everything I need into your hands. And I think you'll feel a lot better during those times. That's where you're using the waves that hurt you to bring you closer to God. You're letting the pain humble yourself and surrender to God and saying, you're all that I have. You're all that I need. I mean, what more do you have if your own family, your own friends and members, you feel like they are mistreating you, they're not for you? I feel like you may feel like you have nothing at that point, and that's where Jesus alone looks like he's enough. You realize that's all I have, and that's all I need is Jesus. So let that pain, that betrayal, everything lead to just entrusting yourself to Jesus. And, I just want to give a warning that you may already know this, like this kind of attack where the devil could tempt our own family and friends to harm us. That's one of his many fiery darts that he may shoot at us. And so I want to read to you Hebrews chapter 12, verse 7. Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as his children. Endure hardship as discipline. All hardship, including friendly fire, including any kind of circumstances that may cause you fear and harm. Whatever it is, if it causes hardship, endure it as loving discipline from the Father, because he's treating you as his child. And so I want you to not just stop here, with the family hurting you, but just any hurts, any hardships. Just always remember that God is lovingly disciplining you through it. Because any kind of trial that we go through, there's an element of discipline in there for all of us that God is using to shape us and make us more like his son through the discipline. And also, I want to give an example from Genesis of family hurting somebody. And here, Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, and this is talking about Joseph and his brothers. His own brothers betrayed him, sold him as a slave. And this is what Joseph says at the end. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. And so even if your own family members intended to harm you and sins against you, know that God can overrule whatever happens, whatever they do to you, and work it out for good. Your good, and often for the good of others, and God gets all the glory. And so don't ever despair when people attack you, even your own family members, because our God is so mighty that he could overrule it all and work it for your good, his glory, and the good of others. So I hope you never give up, no matter what kind of arrow the enemy fires at you, especially if it's your own family and friends and maybe even church members. Never give up and just keep obeying God, forgiving people, and entrusting yourself into Jesus' arms no matter what. God bless you.